Oh yeah, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Evening Mug, man. Oh, it's going to be such an awesome show. We got a totally rad dudes going to hang out with us tonight, talk about all kinds of cool collectibles. You guys are going to love them. So let's not, without further ado, keep the man waiting. Here he comes, Mike. What is going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it doing? So thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, look, y'all, just a little background work in case these people do not know the legendary Blockbuster box sets. Now, I will let you know how I came about you. I have a good buddy who knew about you from Facebook, and he was bragging about his Indiana Jones box set. Well, all right then. And then, so of course, you are a dangerous person to get onto because you're like a rabbit hole person. Like when you click on one thing of yours, you cannot stop, my friend. I mean, I just kept going. I'm like, God, look at this stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. If you guys haven't seen Mike's stuff, I've got all the links below for his Facebook, his actual website where you can order some of these collectibles, all that good stuff, and his YouTube channel where, by the way, he's got a show tomorrow night. So you're going to want to just keep rolling with Mike until then. So, Mike, so I guess my first question for you is, how did this come about? What was the thing that you sat in your head and you went, you know what? I want to make my own covers and boxes and sell them to people.
Well, I think it was about 5 years ago. It was when the Indiana Jones white steelbook box set had come out. I was living in Florida at the time, and when I ordered it, I thought I guess I didn't look at the pictures close enough, but I thought it was going to be a 10 box like the Rambo set and all the other steelbook box sets that we had gotten. And when I got it, and it was that paper, it was just so flimsy that just kind of, I don't know, it's triggered me. I don't know.
It triggered you, snapped.
Yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous for the amount of money that we're paying. We should be able to get something higher quality than, a cereal box, type of sturdiness.
Right.
So, I don't know where I found the confidence, but I guess I was triggered enough that I was determined. I was like, I can make something better than this. And so I went down to Hobby Lobby, and I didn't, I was figuring they'd have something, but I came across these like decorative tins, and it was like a marble kind of pattern, but it was the perfect size for like 3 to 4 steelbooks. And it was the exact same like layout dimensions, with the curved edges and the ridges on the back. So it's like indented a little bit. It was perfect. So I grabbed that. I grabbed some EVA foam that's primarily used for like cosplay, costumes, shields, stuff like that. And then I went to the paper section. They had some leather, looking pattern paper.
Nice.
And I got some, at the time, I just got spray adhesive. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Yeah. And how
I'd never done this before, Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and how did the spray adhesive work? Was it was like, oh, just stick and then,
it's definitely, you better be like really sure.
First time try.
It's first time try. Because if you put it on, you have about like less than 2 seconds to try to pull that back off before it really binds enough to tear the paper. So there was some trial and error with anything, especially when you're doing it the first time. And I didn't know what I was doing. So anybody that's hesitant to get into trying to be creative, just know that you're gonna suck at first,
right?
But you just keep doing it, and you'll get better and better and better. And that's ultimately what happened. But I just wrapped the box. So what I did was I had to cut it down. I had to cut the paper because the paper was like 12 by 12. So I had to cut it to fit like 8.5 for my printer. And I just got a black and white like Indiana Jones logo, and I just printed it so it looked like it was like seared onto the leather paper.
Nice. Right.
And
like branded on there. Nice.
Yeah, so I just wrapped it, you sprayed the adhesive, put it on there, wrapped it, and then I put the EVA foam inside, and then I had like little foam sheets for spacers, and it came out great. I don't own that. I don't have that one anymore. That's the one thing I've said a couple in my live streams is I wish I would have kept some of this so I could like show people the progression of
Absolutely.
where I started first at. But yes, that's essentially how I got started. But I didn't really get into the chipboard type boxes until Hobby Lobby stopped selling those metal, and then I was forced to learn how to do actually make a box.
So when you, and we're going to pull up examples for people watching. So when you go to make a box, and I'm going to pull one up right now, because I bought this bad boy from our friend here. And I'm going to show you the Nightmare on Elm Street. And we're going to this thing of beauty, right? I mean, spine looks fantastic. On there, you got the little poster there. There's the back. I mean, just phenomenal. And then
that back artwork is created by Mariano Mattis.
Yeah, he's got some wonderful artists that work for him to help design these things. And then it's able to fit the steelbook right inside, and it's just super nice. It's a nice snug fit. It's not too tight. There were some people that sort of watched my video that they were flipping out. They're like, "Oh my God, look how tight that is!" Because I was kind of going, hurt. But that was for Trick or Treat, because the Trick or Treat one, actually, this one here. This one has the arrow in there, which also has a slip cover on it. So it's definitely a little tight, but that's it. That's all it takes is just that little bit, and it pulls out. And Mike has said, look, he thinks of us, y'all. He takes care of us. The inside of this, it's not sandpaper. It's not filled with glass and rocks in there. I mean, it's smooth, man. It's a butter smooth interior to keep it all nice, right?
Oh yeah, that's the one thing is steelbooks somehow scratch themselves just sitting on your shelf. So I wanted to make sure the inside of the box was super smooth. So it doesn't scratch your steelbooks, but also it slides out easy enough so you're not because I never liked those box sets, especially during the DVD era. The box sets, all of the cases would be so tight, you would literally have to just shake it to death just to get it to crack just enough so that you could then push them in and get the one you want. Yeah. Give yourself a hernia trying to get a DVD case out,
Honey. Did you try to open a DVD again? Yes.
Yeah. So the sizing of that there was a lot of trial and error to get that sizing right. So so it could fit a variety of types of cases.
Now, to that point, so here's another one that's just got a Blu-ray in there, because this is Big Trouble in Little China, and it just pops right out. Like it's but gee whiz, if only there was a solution for things did not slip out of there. Wait a minute, there it is. What is that thing?
So I made
That'll
an
be
insert.
in my next order, by the way.
Oh yeah. So it's just an insert, and it's like 3 to 4 millimeters thick, and you could just slide it in your case. So I have a case here, and you just slide it right in. Now I do include little adhesive strips right now, while I still have them. But if you want to attach it, but I kind of recommend people don't, in case you want to upgrade eventually. Maybe they reissue a steelbook that you had missed out on. So you just put the insert in, and then you put your regular 4K or Blu-ray case in it, and then it really tightens it up quite a bit.
That's perfect. So your first cover then was that Indiana Jones. That's the thing you took a swing at.
Yeah. That was the very first box that I tried
I wish
to do.
you still had that. That would be hilarious to look at.
I'm sure somebody on the internet somewhere has it still on their shelf. But I expanded off of that. And I made I was using sticker paper and an inkjet printer at the time, but I was making Star Wars and Back to the Future. So I'm sure you could probably peruse the internet and somebody selling it on eBay or Mercari or something.
Right, I bet. Now I'm gonna tell you why you're kind of like a spirit animal for me. We're so like-minded. Back in the day, I didn't grab any. I would make my own DVD covers, especially when it came to documentaries. I would all this. I'm a Star Trek fan, right? So all the Star Trek documentaries that came out, the 25th anniversary, and so I wanted that on its own disc. So I would record it on SPVHS, burn it, digitize it, and then spit it out onto a DVD. But now I'm like, but now I need a case. So I would scour the internet for images, create the case, like, cause it has to look nice on the shelf. And so
Right.
I would make cases all the time. My wedding video, it's got a case. So I love the whole concept of like making menus on the DVDs. I mean, that's the thing in the past. I haven't done that in God knows how long.
Well, the studios aren't doing it either.
Oh my God. Some of the laziest menus. I think the Sony's the worst, which just got those templated buttons at the bottom.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
what is that?
So I miss those. I miss the DVD menus. They were really interactive and stuff. Like, they had like the Shrek one and God, there were so many, but like that one, I think there was even like an interactive game they had back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, Shrek. Roger Rabbit had a really good one where you literally drive through Toontown. Here's one for you: is the Easter eggs. Some things don't even tell you. You'd have to click on the guy's holding up his finger, and you click on his finger, and then
yeah. There was I want to say it was on the Star Wars prequel DVDs.
Yeah.
There was an Easter egg, and one of them was like you could watch Yoda dancing.
Right. Now you remember the Easter egg? Speaking of, I think it's on the same one. Is the Sandcrawler was hauling ass and it was part of the pod race. So
yeah.
So you see all the pod races like Anakin going by, and all of a sudden this out of nowhere the Sandcrawler just and it hits a dirt hill and just and it just catches air and then it cuts off. I'm like, that is one of the greatest like things ever.
I don't know if it was part of the Easter egg, but they had like a little snippet, and it looked like a 1980s Christmas home video, and a kid actually gets a real lightsaber, and he starts throwing it around, he starts cutting things off and stuff like that. I don't remember if that was part of the Easter egg or if it was something else that I was watching, but I vividly remember that. But
and I just want to say hi to all the chats. Thank you, everybody in the chats. We are filling up here, Mike. We got people from the UK in here tonight, which is fabulous. Bunch of locals. Falcon 0822. What's up, buddy? Noise. There's basketball. But yeah, it's just been super nice to see you guys pop in. And like I said, I got all the links below. So if you haven't checked out his stuff, get over. What are you waiting for? You can do this while you're on here. Just click over, go to his YouTube channel, hit like, subscribe, come on back. Do a head count right now. You can check your subs, and then by the end of the thing, hopefully get a couple more. That's why we always test the audience, and getting people subs. Now, as you created these, I'm sure you've beholden your good work, and you go, man, that's my favorite. Do you have? Look at all this stuff behind you. I can't help but go show up here. Do you have a favorite thing that you created?
My favorite always seems to change with
right.
Not necessarily the newest thing I make, but like for right now, I would say my Rocky box. That's my favorite currently. The artwork on that is amazing. Halloween's right up there. That's the Halloween one. Just like FYI, that took a year. That took a year from the time I got the idea, to the time that I actually was able to put it out for people to get the first time. It was a year. Now
feel free to turn around and point to that box. That is a thing of beauty. I mean,
so that's the Halloween one right there.
Look at that. That's a mamma jamma, man. That's a meatball sub right there.
The first major one that I did was of this quality was the Ash versus the Evil Dead one. Let me grab that real quick.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, anything you want to pull off your shelf, we are game.
So show it off real quick. And all of this artwork was created by Mariano Mattis. So I had reached out to him. I'd seen his artwork, and I absolutely loved this style. And so
great.
I decided to. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, especially for Bruce. With Bruce Campbell. So
same.
The Evil Dead box that they had, the big red one, it didn't have Army of Darkness in it. So it was kind of
weird.
And I'm not a big fan of those types of boxes that just take up your whole. It's top shelf. It has to be on your top shelf because it's not going to fit, in the dimensions of your regular shelf. And so that's one of the things I'm super conscious of when I'm like making my stuff is to have, where it can literally just sit on a regular standard shelf. But this one was my favorite for a good long while.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out really well. But the only input I gave him was we had to change Lucy Lawless' eyes. Originally he had them like blacked out, and so I was like, nah, it looks too weird. And then I picked, I like designed the top. I was like, I want that scene from Army of Darkness where he's looking up.
Here,
But
let's
otherwise, like I gave him very, very like few points on what I wanted to see on the box. I was like, I just need a panel that covers the TV series, panel that covers, Army of Darkness, and a panel that covers Evil Dead 1 and 2. And he just he sent me a sketch, and that's really the way I work is with all my artists. Is I'm like, just send me a really super basic sketch. So after we've talked about what we want, and then once we get the layout sketch nailed down, I let them go and just let them go to town and do their stuff. I really try not to be a hindrance on their creativity. So,
well, I'm glad you sort of went there, because I was going to bring up your artist, because your boxes have such gorgeous artwork. What made you decide to find people to commission artwork as opposed to just scouring the internet with high-res JPEGs? To me, it's the old adage of the movie posters. Like Drew Struzan, an artist, makes a beautiful poster, and then later on, people just do Photoshop posters of heads. I'm like, God, where's the creativity gone? It's like it's just dying off with Drew Struzan. So,
oh yeah, no, they do not make posters like they used to. I love the old school posters. They were a little more abstract and minimalist in the 70s, and then really in the 80s is when that explosion of creativity really took hold. I feel like the 60s had it a little bit, 70s dialed it back really far, and then the 80s just went full blown, like Rambo, kind of creativity. Yeah. But so when I first started, I did not have this was just a hobby. I was just honestly, I never thought it would be turn into what it has. But I originally I was doing that. I was doing what you were talking about. And I promised myself as soon as I could afford an artist, I would hire an artist, and that's what happened. The biggest thing is that for me, like that all of that artwork that you see out there, we've all seen it a million times. It's been reprinted on countless formats. So I wanted to give people something new, something fresh, exciting, as original as you can be. Obviously, certain franchises you can't go too far because fans really want you to stay in a certain box, when it, for nostalgia. I mean, like even for when I did the Halloween, I got pushback on the spines. I wasn't going to do the official logo for each movie. And I'm like, so I was like, well, I want to go for uniformity. So I have the Halloween, then I have the name of the movie, in that font. So I was trying to stay in that box, but originally everybody's like, oh, just put the original font in there or the original logo. And I'm like, you have so many different styles when you come to these franchises. Sometimes you can't, and it won't look good. But
that's true.
That's when you hire an artist, I can bring my vision to, I can't draw worth a lick, but I can make a really, really, it's a really bad sketch, but the artists, they clearly get what I'm trying to. So
you make this pencil drawing into something fabulous.
Yeah. So that in each artist, they have a different kind of style. So it depends on the project of which artist I try to go with for, because I want to play to their strengths, not put them into something that they're not good at, because then you're just not going to get the best that you can out of them.
How many different artists do you have sort of in your pocket right now?
Currently I have 4. I have Mariana Mattis, Chelsea Lowe, Matthew Theron, and most recently Noah Weiberg. He's doing my Die Hard stuff. So for anybody that's been, but I'm always looking for new artists as well, because obviously if I get more artists, then I could do more projects at like once. So really that's the biggest like funnel that I have right now is the amount, because it's obviously when you're asking for new artwork, that takes time. And I'm not a like I gotta have it on my desk by Monday morning kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, and they're really doing me a favor, because they're, you know, like Chelsea. I'll use Chelsea for example. Chelsea just did the Skeleton Crew artwork for Disney, so they fit me in between like the studios and like independent films and stuff like that. Same thing with Mariano. You know, he fits me in when he can.
They do wonderful work. And so what I want to applaud you for, so it seems like you, when you're going for the bigger boxes, that's where you sort of get the full commission art, like all the way around. But what I do love that you do is for the singles is you keep the tradition of that original poster and then give us something like on the back. So for example, there's Nightmare. We got that great Struzan poster there, but then artwork there. I know that one's, you know, that's not one of your guys, because I recognize that one.
That's an alternate poster.
Yeah, exactly. But that's your guy, right?
Yeah, yep. That's Mariano. Yeah. That was like an older piece that he did. So sometimes, like for the individual titles, I will reach out to them and ask them if they already have artwork for that. That way, you know, it's usually like something older and it's more affordable to license it from them versus trying to pay them to create something new. So yeah, like right now I don't do enough volume to pay their like full price for an individual title, but I can certainly do it through the box sets because it generates enough revenue that I make my money back, that I can justify that cost. But the individual like slipcase titles, I either try to give you alternate poster art if there is like the Big Trouble in China, and then or what I'll do is I'll go like grab a snapshot from the film or something like that. You know, I like I said, I'm not grabbing anybody else. I'm not doing any unlicensed artwork for the back panel stuff.
Very cool. Now we do have from our friend Mega Mike, another Mike in the chats here. Says, good evening, movie friends. Mike, what is your favorite blockbuster memory? That kind of tees it up with the name. Do you have a favorite blockbuster, whatever that means to you?
Well, when I think of like the word blockbuster, there's two things that pop into my head. The first one being Blockbuster Video.
Yeah.
And I don't know why this stuck out. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I remember when Star Trek Generations came out. That was actually the first Star Trek film that I got to go see on the big screen. And I remember going into my Blockbuster Video, and they had a huge like vinyl type poster hanging up on the wall, and they had like this big cardboard cutout and had Riker, and man, I just really wanted that so bad.
Right.
So a lot of time spent in Blockbuster Video. That's what was across the street from where, you know, I grew up. And there was also a theater in that same, like, you know, supermarket area. So it was great. So I saw a lot of films at the theater, and then I'd pick up a lot of movies at Blockbuster Video. But as far as my, like the word blockbuster when it comes to movies, it kind of ties in with Star Trek a little bit, but I remember my dad taking me and my younger brother to the movies to go see Independence Day.
Oh, nice.
And oh man, that was so good. But the Star Trek tie-in to that is the teaser trailer for First Contact was the first trailer they showed, and I was super geeked up for that. Right. I was so excited. But yeah, that's what blockbuster means to me is that like those big epic movie moments. Obviously for me, you know, it affected me, you know, as a child growing up, and then obviously Blockbuster Video itself. So that's where I kind of get the name from. Blockbuster Box Sets is I you know, obviously it's an homage to Blockbuster Video, but also to like Blockbuster Films itself. So that's kind of where I get that from.
I mean, that's so much fun. I mean, I'm with you. Like growing up, you know, I'm a little bit older, so I had the good fortune of hitting Star Wars when it first came out. So that was just like, I mean, literally, dude, it's like you're saying. So when you went in there, it like changed your life, right? And when I went into Star Wars, they had like lobby cards up on, they don't do lobby cards anymore, but they had
They
lobby
don't.
cards on the wall. So you got sort of a prelude of like, what are these robots? I mean, the little Huckamy was just eyeballs popping out of my head. And then when I sat down and then that ship just kept going and going, and the opening shot is like the biggest ship you've ever seen. I was just like, oh my God. And I remember too, even though it's just a 2-hour movie, it had an intermission. They knew
Really?
that this thing was so good. They could stop it at 1 hour. And I want to say the 1 hour mark was roughly, I think, when Vader was choking that dude.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
they closed the curtains. You're like,
Wow. I had no idea.
yeah. And then you took a second and you realized, oh, okay, go to the bathroom, get popcorn, get more drink. And I mean, I could not have got up and cut back faster. So yeah, I love that you've adopted the blockbuster thing. People really, they have a connection to that type of title. And I think that's on point, sir. Now I'm a Star Trek fan like you. And of course I already know the answer because I've seen some of your videos, but in the likelihood, what are the odds that those 10 movies are going to get a box again in the future?
Well, yeah. So like, I guess it was about
Tell the audience.
a year and a half or 2 years ago. I did a box. Whenever the 4Ks came out, I did a box for the original series. That was the 6, and then I did a TNG box. Now the box sets that I did for those were different from what I make now. So what I make now is with the individual slipcases. To kind of the issue I was running in with the outer box, and you put your movies that you bought. Is aside from like a physical media release like that where it comes out like I'll use Seinfeld. Everybody bought Seinfeld. Everybody has 4K cases, no slip covers. It's those discs.
Yep.
The issue I was running into was some people have slip covers, some people don't, some people have steelbooks. So it was kind of a hodgepodge. So I was having to hit everybody up for like what they had when they messaged me to order. So I was hand making everything, and I was having to like change the dimensions of the box.
Oh wow! Whew.
And it was so time consuming.
That's brutal.
But that's the kind of Star Trek boxes that I did. I love Star Trek. I would love to do another Star Trek box. I wouldn't do like a whole 10 one because some people, including myself, absolutely hate Star Trek Into Darkness. So bad, but
that's not 10. That's 13. That's the
other.
No,
that's true. That's true. But
yeah, JJ doesn't count. We're talking.
Yeah. We're talking real Trek here. 10.
Stop there. Like I will be with you. I will not feel bad if there's no JJ slots. I'm good.
Well, I can tell you right now that I would do it the same way I did as far as like I would have the 6 original in its own box, and then I would have the 4 TNG in their own box. Cool. I found that even with Halloween, everything's a fractured fan base now. So there are people that they're like, I ain't buying your box because I don't like Rob Zombie's films. And I'm like, okay, I can't help you, So same thing. Like some people may not like Picard or TNG. I don't know what's wrong with those people, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an original series guy. That's my favorite. Wandering off a little bit. I feel like, although don't get me wrong, there's a lot of goofy Star Trek original series episodes.
Oh, sure.
There is a lot of bad TNG out there.
Oh yeah. Look, that's the thing is you could curate from either franchise, the original series, like the first, you can get maybe a season and a half of real good bangers because there are some clunkers. TNG you might have maybe 3 seasons worth of great shows out of 7 seasons. Like I think there's a lot of filler. There feels like there's more filler in TNG.
Yeah, I will say I think their best was seasons 3 and 4. I think if you go back and you really watch like a lot of like the shows that you're like, oh yeah, that one and that one and that, they were really in season 3 and 4. I think that's when they finally got a good showrunner and start. I think I hate to say this, but Gene Roddenberry died, and that kind of freed their hands up a lot to tell good stories. I think that's when you got Ronald Moore on the show.
Yep,
I think that's when he strolled on. So the writing got tremendously better. But yeah,
And that
as far as like, oh yeah, well, I mean, come on,
you're the greatest cliffhanger in all of television. I'm
you know, the
sorry.
thing is they didn't I think
Yeah,
it's
I
Michael
know.
Miller wrote that. They
Yeah.
didn't have an ending. They didn't know how that was
Yeah.
going to wrap up. He wrote
Yeah,
that
like,
like
oh, it did
during the
well.
break. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's a terrible story.
well, they didn't know if Patrick Stewart was going to come back or not. I think there
Yeah.
was like he was up for contract negotiations, so they kind of left it like that until they could shore up the contract to make sure that he was coming back, so they knew whether to kill him off or not to kill him off.
Right, right.
But yeah, I would like to do another Star Trek boxes for both. I always like to come back and give it a refresh, but really, and this is what I tell a lot of people on my live streams is nothing's gone. No one's ever really gone. Nothing's ever gone forever. I just usually I'm waiting to gather a large enough audience for that particular title before I can roll it back out. Because when you're paying for new artwork, it costs a lot of money. So you got to make sure. For me, it has to be a solid yes. When I'm like, can I do this? Can I sell enough of this to cover that cost? And if the answer is a solid yes, then I go with it. If it's I don't know, then I just hold off a little bit longer. So hopefully, I can continue to grow
when you bring it back.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because that's also like one of my favorite franchises of all time. But this guy here, Dave, collecting movie, and it says Star Wars. He loves your cases and your Lord of the Rings cases, and does have a question about the Rocky box. It says, does it come with cases for the box?
So there's like the 4K cases, like these.
He might mean
or the.
So yeah, do you mean these?
Yeah, so those are I call them slip cases. They're slip boxes. I just call them slip cases. But anytime you see the word box set, it includes those slip cases.
Those nice.
Yeah, but they don't have anything else with them. So when you see a box set, it's the outer box plus those individual slip cases. And then if you want to pick up the 4K cases, that's like a separate thing. So I always try to make sure that you're not having to buy something that you don't need. I only want you to get what you need. So that's why I keep everything kind of separate and a la carte. So you're not overpaying and then you're like, what am I going to do with these cases if you have the steelbooks, So
nice.
That's what.
Now we do have a fan here that is itching to see one of your Batman sets, because you got some sweet Batmans over your head there. Are you willing to show one?
Oh yeah. Let me grab that.
All right. Way to go, Jeff. Teeing up the good stuff. That's another one I'd like to pick up. Dang, look at that. That is dope, dude.
Yeah. What's funny?
Oh, wait, let me see. Wait, can I see the spines again? Can I see the spines? Yeah. That's one where you went with the logo for each one.
Yep.
The font. You went with the font for each one. Nice.
Yeah. So each one I did that. And this one, if I bring it back, I'm gonna have to change some of the back panel artwork. But like you got the original poster art on the front.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Like this was an early on box where I couldn't track down who the artist was. So yeah, if I bring this back, I would definitely be redoing the back panel artwork. I actually did that for 1 and 2. The ones I have are the old style.
Oh, sweet.
But
that's kind of nice.
But I did update the Michael Keaton 1 and 2 slips. So those are available now. You can get those now with the new artwork that is legit. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is like some of these like I'll use Back to the Future for example. The first time I released that over a year ago, the back panels were just the like artwork of the various DeLorean with like the Western theme for 3 and the futuristic theme for 2. So I went back and changed that. And the new release, I actually just uploaded a bunch of pictures of the new stuff that's coming out on my Facebook page. So if you guys, anybody that's like not following on Facebook, definitely check that out. Cause I just dumped that today. But I changed the back panels. So they're Each panel is a different shot of Marty and Doc from each movie.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So that way it gets around having to like have all new artwork commissioned, but I'm not stealing from anybody.
Now, of course, no, we're gonna have him take everything off the shelf, y'all. But now, if you have things that you you want to ask him, like, hey, is this coming? Because if you're getting excited, this is why I wanted Mike on. I want you to get excited for the artwork and throw titles out at him, and if they're coming up, he'll tell you yes or no, or hey, that's a good idea. I haven't thought of that. Obviously, James Bond is in the in the zeitgeist right now because of what's going on.
Yeah, they just announced.
Yeah,
they just
new
announced the Sean Connery. Yeah.
And so this Dave here, he's like, he loves is there a Pierce Brosnan behind you? Oh, that's why he's asking. Yeah, you got a Pierce Brosnan back there.
So I could pull those off, but I can tell you right now, I never sold those. Those were just like a pet project for me that I was doing.
Right?
Yeah. So I definitely want to do Bond, and maybe I missed it, but it looked like it was all 6 Connery films are going to be in one steelbook, I think is what I saw. Did I misread that?
I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to dig into, because it's funny when you got things like Connery, right? And he's got 6, and you got Moore that's got 7. I think Roger Moore's got 7, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with like the stragglers with George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton? Did you put their 3 in their own?
I did. Here, I'll pull them off.
Yeah, and then you give Pierce his own, and then Daniel his own.
So
let's take a look.
So what I did was I combined Lansby's in here. So
nice, because Bond's hot right now.
Yeah, he's hot. So
nice. You did it like that. Very cool. Very cool.
And then I could be wrong, but I think this image was like from the video game, one of the video games. So I grabbed that and I grabbed the logo and kind of made it a theme for all of them. But each one of these so this is like the Connery box. So each one of these I have, like, for this one is Connery, but in the others I have like Brosnan and Roger Moore, and then this was kind of the back.
Nice.
But
yeah,
so this was
on the top. Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's one of those like this is
yeah.
definitely one I want to go back to. It's not the best representation of my work.
Right. Yeah, but look, we got to start somewhere. That's
right. So
now, what would you say? And maybe it is Halloween. What would you say is your highest selling box? Biggest?
It's Halloween. Halloween, hands down.
Not even a question.
So I will just briefly tell you, like, after the metal tin boxes that I was telling you about, I started making like regular chipboard ones. Dude, nobody was buying that. Nobody. I was just, sales went all the way down.
Who is this?
And I remember when Scream Factory was putting out the first 5 on 4K. For the Halloween movie. So I told my wife, I'm like, I'll make a box for that, and if that doesn't sell, I'm done. I'll just make stuff for myself, and I'll forget like trying to like make stuff to sell to people. So I made that, and I did not know Pizzo at all. He wasn't in my YouTube subscription algorithm.
There you go.
But he bought my box and did a review, and that put me on the map. All of a sudden, like, people like actually started coming to me, and I could not make those fast enough. Those boxes are terrible looking, back at it now, but at the time nobody else was doing anything like that. So that's really the only reason why I'm still doing this, is because Pizzo got me going on YouTube with people knowing who I was and what I was doing. But yeah, Halloween hands down is always been my most popular box. It is a huge fan base. So
see, well, that's interesting, because the people who, like you said, whine and moan, it's got the Rob Zombie in there. That doesn't obviously stop anyone, because it's your highest seller. So there's enough that don't care and they'll get the full thing.
Yeah, I always tell my artists, and I first dropped this to Mariano. I was like, hey man, I know no one likes the Rob, or not no one, but there's a lot of people that don't like the Rob Zombie. I'm like, we got to make this look so good, they have to buy it.
Nice. That is a great attitude.
And what he did, especially for the back panel, I told him what I wanted for the sides, for the side panels, but for the back panel, that was not his first like design. He pitched me a sketch, and originally it was going to be like Michael at the top of the stairs, and like on the sides, you'd have like kind of the railing, and then you'd have the wall, and we would have like little 35 millimeter frames from like each film. And I shot that down hard. I was like, no, I can't. No, I was like, that's like too identifiable. Like that shot. In fact, I accidentally used somebody's cosplay recreation photo. It looked so good.
Oh my God,
it was funny. So on an older box. They reached out to me and they're like, yeah, bro, that's me. That's a cosplay photo. I was like, holy crap, that's insane. So I was like, hey, why don't we do kind of a like it's called, the poster is The Night He Came Home. I'm like, why don't we do kind of like an homage to The Night He Came Home? So that's when like that whole like design started to take shape. And so that's what you have is kind of like a collection of The Night He Came Home with the, the three girls walking along the street and the fall leaves and stuff like that. But I wanted to stay as far away from Scream Factory's artwork as I could, because quite honestly, I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not really a fan of the stuff they did for their hard boxes.
You don't like leaves? What is your problem, Mike? You hate leaves? Are you?
I think I just raked one too many leaves when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm like who sat around and go, okay, here's the thing. I want a theme, like leaves across all 5 boxes. You mean leaves or leaves?
Well, you know what it was? They just kept raking those leaves that they used in the film, and then they would put them on the poster. So God bless.
I like where your head's at. more than the leaf guy. Now Dell, our good buddy Dell, says, do you do chunky box sets like Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome style?
Well, the individual slip boxes are kind of like that, only I have them set up so it just fits. It can fit a 4K or Blu-ray case with or without a slipcover, as well as a steelbook with or without a slipcover. So like your Lionsgate steelbooks that now have the slipcovers on them, my case will fit that. I don't really make anything as far as like an individual title any larger than that, because I'm not selling you folded up crinkled posters, and I'm not throwing in art cards and I'm not doing any of that. So I will say that like if you have if you missed out on an Arrow title, and like their chunky box version, and you just got the standard, like you showed earlier with the Trick or Treat one, it'll fit the regular standard one. So I actually do that a lot with my own. I did the
this is exactly what I love about Mike's stuff. It's like getting that Arrow box for for the movie that's in there.
Well, yours must have been a little bit more caved in. It's I don't think mine's that. Let me see where it was that.
So but it's nice and snug in there. Yeah, it was maybe a little but so this is kind of a way to get sort of that Arrow nice box for just the individual thing. Oh yeah, yours slid out nice and easy.
Well, they're all handmade. So I tell people that I'm like, this is not.
You're holding the love. I feel the love.
Yeah. This is every one of these boxes is handmade, hand wrapped. So there is going to be some tiny variation in like fit, but they're all going to fit that. So like yours is just a teeny tiny a little bit snug. But it serves multiple purposes. It protects your stuff, especially steelbooks. It gives you more artwork, and sometimes like like I always try to give you original poster art when I can. Some movies don't lend themselves to that. Some movies, they either got like one poster and it sucks, and so it needs kind of a more modern type look of it. But it also allows you to bring your collection together. Like I always use the Mission Impossible series, for example, the Mission Impossible films. Dude, they keep changing that stuff over and over and over. And so
not always for the good.
Yeah. And same thing with Indiana Jones. They had the white steel books, and then they decided to go with black steel books. So maybe you have the 4 white, and then you got Dial of Destiny. Now with my slip boxes, you can unite your stuff and it looks uniform because my spines are all uniform with that. So that's the beauty. They serve multiple purposes for it. It's not just like, something shiny that you can display, which obviously is great because you get the artwork. And we're all trying to recreate our own Blockbuster Video rental stores. We're all doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we are.
So I'm trying to give you that same experience that when you walked into the store, it was the artwork that grabbed you, because you may not have known that movie, but you're like, oh, that looks really interesting. Let me pick that up. Let me take a look at it. So that's kind of what I go for with that.
Yeah, do you know how many Roger Corman movies I rented because those covers were so salacious for a little while? Like, look at all the TNA on this cover. Like, I mean, it was all about that artwork, because a lot of that stuff was straight to video, so you weren't familiar other than what's sitting on that shelf. So that poster had to pop. That box had to pop.
100%. And that's what I go for. Is I try to always give you something very striking, something unique. When I can, obviously. Sometimes, like I said, especially when you go into the much older films, like I was just prior to this, I was working on the Dirty Harry slip box that I'm working on, and that one's a tough nut to crack for artwork. So I want to get it it right, but it's going to take me some time. I got sucked into the black hole of the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff today, so it was just starting on Dirty Harry later in the day, but yeah, I always try to give you that striking, unique artwork look that grabs your eye, but also when you bring your friends over, they're like, holy crap, look at, what is that? And then you get, it's a conversation piece.
Yeah. What I'm thankful for is that you do that, because for me, my Indiana Jones, like I have the box set, like the white box set that's just got all the fan, when you open it up, you got to pull them out of the cardboard, the slips.
I hate that.
And I also have the steel books, but the Dial of Destiny was so hard to find the steel book that I only have the 4K on that, just the single. So if I were to put them in your set, I would get your cases, because I would need them now in a case, because I want to take them out of that accordion, and then they'd all match. They finally match for the first time, because they're just all over the place. Let me try to share my screen with you real quick. Speaking of, since you teed it up, we're going to show people. We'll be offside. Look at that. There's your little Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. Want to talk about that? Let's see if we can make that a little. There we go.
Yeah, so try, so as far as like, I tried to give you the original poster art on the front, which I did. And the thing is that what a lot of people don't understand is I didn't just grab the original poster and then throw it in that box for the dimensions. My box dimensions are not the same, so a lot of times I have to varying degrees, like recreate the original poster art. These were the more popular franchises, make it a little bit easier. But like all of the logos, I had to go find or create myself.
Wow, that's impressive.
So I had to find the high res images of all of the posters in the color grade that I was looking for, without anything on them, like no words, no logos, or nothing like that.
Right, a textless poster.
I had to have the textless poster, and then I would go back and then put the logos back on them. And then the back panels are the newly commissioned artwork. So I always try to give you something new, something old, something new,
Yeah.
something blue, whatever it is. But
Pop that up a little bit.
yeah, and then the spines up at the top, I think, is that the new one?
These have the glove. Sorry, I wish it was a little bit larger. I don't know why.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, I just recently changed that, so I can kind of show folks.
Here's the second. Here's the second one. It's a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's with the glove. Yeah, that's the I changed the upper image. There was a couple folks. You know, that's the thing too, is I always tell people,
like, did you have a new one you were showing?
Yeah. So let me see if I can.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
It's kind of camera's.
Oh, it's like little Freddy up top. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. And then you have like the Freddy outline. So
now, will that be the same Freddy on each one, or is it the Freddy from that movie?
No, that'll be the same one on all of them. So that was that image. I wanted to kind of have an homage to the DVD box set. And up until that point, originally I was going to do the VHS covers for that little upper box. But it's so small, and so those posters are so dark that when I go to have it printed and made, it wouldn't show up. It didn't look good. So that's when I had to change it. And then I was thinking about the glove, and I put the glove up. Most everybody really liked it, but there was a couple of people that, you know, gave me good feedback. They're like, I don't know, it doesn't look, I'm not getting the vibes from the rest of the color palette of it. So that's when I went back and I was like, okay, if I can't do the VHS, then I'll go to the DVD. So I grabbed that image, and you know, I have like some programs that I do, and I changed the saturation and did like a hue over it, so it kind of was glowing a little bit to kind of shine it up, as it were. And then that'll be on the top of each one of the 1 through 7 with that. And then the kind of what I was talking about with the Halloween, where I was like, well, I'm not giving you the original logo on each one. I tried my best to give you that, but I did take some creative liberties with it, but I don't feel like I strayed too far. Nobody's really like hit me up of like, dude, that's terrible, you know, that sucks. Put back, it's supposed to be green, you know, kind of thing. So everybody seems to like it so far. And you know, that's the thing, is I make this, you know, not just for me, but I make it for all of you guys. I do, this is passion. This is not my day.
You can feel it.
So I learned very early on that you gotta be like really on the details, because especially when you roll out like something like this or Halloween, there are super fans and they will crucify you if you get something wrong. And I learned that very, very early on, thankfully. So I'm not having big mistakes now. But yeah, I'm always trying, like I was saying earlier, I'm always trying to stay in this box of like, I'm trying to give you what you're used to, but I'm also trying to give you something a little bit new, so that it's unique for your set. And it obviously makes it worth to upgrade to it, because you're getting all of this new, amazing artwork with it.
Well, you know, here, I'm going to pull my screen up here. I'm going to go with the fact that for the uniformity, because I want to show people, this Rocky is a perfect example. I love how you don't just center the logos. You sort of justify left them so that all the Rockies are lined up, and then it's the numbers that come after. And that, I don't know, it just feels right. That's why when I saw that, I'm like, man, I love that little detail where it's not just centered, it's justified left, and it goes from there. I mean, I know you don't, you know, and the font is very Rocky like. So
yeah, that's the thing, is like I had to go and create all of those. So I thank God for the internet. So you can go and you can Google, for those of you that are interested, you can Google, like type in like Rocky font generator, and it'll bring you up a bunch of different links and stuff. And you just kind of have to find the one that you like the most. But yeah, for each one of those, same thing with Rocky, how I was telling you how to recreate the posters. I had to do that with every Rocky. I had to recreate and then do that font. The Rocky 2 poster, that was hell, bro. That was hell. That was the only high res image.
Let's see if I can get that.
Of because that's the original poster art. A lot of people, the one I end up using for the 4K case is typically what you get on the DVD. But yeah, so that I had to paint out the Rocky 2 part of it, and then paint Apollo Creed's hair back, like, to finish it. so it didn't stand out.
Yeah.
Then do the Rocky font and size it right so that it matched in proportion. So yeah, same thing with that Rocky, the word Rocky, and his whole life was a million and one. I typed that out myself. That's not like, I didn't grab that.
Crisp. Yep. Looks good.
Yep.
Now, before I jump to the next question here, I'll just ask real quick, what made you, and how difficult is it, you use black paper? And I always think that, oh, you're not going to see good detail on black paper. At least it looks like black paper, unless you're literally printing black on that whole thing. Is that white paper that's been printed all the way on, or is it black paper?
So when I make the blank box sets, so you can make your own, that's on black paper. So I just do black, so you have nice uniform, and then I have a video and I have a template, so I show you exactly how you can make your own. So you literally get your, I sell you the box, so you can pick up the box, you pick up the template. I did the video to show you how like stupid easy it is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do
it. But those are black paper. For the finer ones that, like, all the ones up here and stuff like that, that's white paper, and it's printed. The whole image is printed on there. So I used to do. Yeah, I used to do it all in-house, but I've gotten popular enough now that I can, like, outsource some of it. It took me like 6 months to find a company that was willing to learn, because I had to teach them how to do it, because nobody's doing this. So I had to teach them how to do it. I had to build the templates for them, and then oh my gosh, it's so involved. But I'm large enough now that I'm able to outsource some of the larger projects to them, which allows me to create more artwork and do more titles because of it. Because, like I said, this isn't my day job. I just do this on the side, like when I'm off. And so whatever time I have was being eaten up, between fulfilling orders that took place when I was gone, making replacement stuff, and then also designing new stuff. So now that's really freed me up a lot to get into the designing stuff. So there's a ton of titles that are coming out soon.
Well, that's interesting. I was going to ask you, what can you tease the audience with that you have coming up in the future that you're really excited about, that you want to say, oh, I have been wanting to do this and it's coming? Well, you can talk about a repeat. I know Indiana Jones is coming back out in May, I think, right?
Yeah, for anybody, I've been kind of glancing through the comments just a little bit off and on, but like Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, they're coming back. The Scream outer boxes, Volume 1 and Volume 2 are coming back. The Beetlejuice box set is coming back. So much stuff. But as far as, like, there's 2 box sets that I'm, like, super excited for. The one I did a video in character. I fully committed to that role. Was my Escape From collection. Here, I'll grab that real quick.
Sure. See this close up. Yeah.
So I got my Escape From collection box set coming.
Nice. Whoa, look at that.
And so I was excited for this because I'm a huge Snake Plissken fan, but I'm also a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. And for anybody that doesn't know, in Metal Gear Solid, the main character is basically Kurt Russell's character. So when I hired Chelsea Lowe to do the artwork for this, I told her, I was like, let's do the start screen of Metal Gear Solid from the PlayStation 1, and then let's make it
Right.
Snake Plissken instead. So this box set I'm so excited for. That's coming out soon. For anybody that's interested, on my website, on the homepage, theblockbusterboxsets.com, on the homepage, if you scroll, there's a coming soon section. So for anybody that's in here and they're like, when's this coming out? When's that coming out? I kind of put the month of what titles are dropping. And then I always, when we get closer, that's when I'll like give you a specific date of when it's going to drop. But that one I'm excited for. And then the other one that I'm super excited for is the MCU Phase 1 box set.
Nice.
Super stoked about that one. And all of that artwork, all the newly commissioned artwork was done by Matthew Farron. And he's doing, for anybody that's wondering, I'm doing the whole MCU. So we're obviously, the majority of people are going to check out after the Phase 3.
Yeah. The end game, it's over.
I don't blame them. But I am doing the Infinity Saga in its completion. After that, I don't really know if I could pull another. I don't know if I'm large enough to pull off a Phase 4 box set, because there's a lot of non-popular titles in there. I may, but we'll see what happens. But those are the two box sets that I'm like super stoked about.
That's cool. Now, Falcon 0822 has a good question. This is one I was actually going to bring up, so we'll go to him. So, so they're talking about TV box sets. So we'll get to that. And it says that I did a Babylon 5 set a while back. But what I actually did was, I can't stand those tubs. And I know, Mike, you're probably like me. When you see that, it's like kryptonite. It just crushes me because discs come flying out, or they're stacked on each other. You got to pull all four off to find the one I just hate it. So there are two series. I basically I love to consolidate stuff on my channel. Like I'll take the Blu-ray, put it in the 4K, and I'll consolidate the cases and stuff. But for these, I expanded them out. So I did Babylon 5, and each season has its own Blu-ray case. And so I bought the 4-disc cases. So now each disc has its own hub, and each season has its own case. So yes, it now takes up this much room on my shelf instead of this. But now if I want to go to season 2, disc 4, I know exactly where it is. So I did that for Babylon 5 and for Burn Notice. So things like that, talking about TV, because I love TV, and I see you got Seinfeld behind you. Mm-hmm. What, if any, now I know you got the Marvel TV shows, so we can talk about those. Loki, you're definitely doing those. Yep. Is there any other kind of TV show? Now, look, let's face it. You said you're a Star Trek fan, Mike. My God, where is the Star Trek set? Come on. I mean, let's go.
I got that. Hold on a second. I got that.
Oh, no. Oh, you're going to kill me now, because I know you'll be the only one with this.
So I made I made this box for myself.
I know. I'm going to nerd out.
But so I have the original series. And then I got the animated series. But anybody that's wondering what this is, if you have not seen Star Trek Continues, holy crap, you need to watch that. So this is the entire Star Trek Continues, all I can't remember, it was like 12 episodes, because when they put them out, they put out a link where you could download them, and it would give you the ISO file to create a Blu-ray. So I have all of them. But I made myself an original series box.
Nice. Oh, sweet. Look at that.
So, because I wanted to bring them all together. So that was I did that for myself.
Star Trek Continues. There's a deep cut.
Oh, now,
those are the ones with Vic Mignogna, right?
Yes. They are. They're canon. They're canon. Gene Roddenberry's son, he gave them the blessing. They are canon.
I've met Mick at a couple of Vic at a couple of conventions, and he's super cool. He looks like Kirk. He's a good Kirk representation. And look, so all right, guys, we're gonna get off topic just for a second. So, did you see the episode where they basically took Mirror Mirror and then literally picked it up from the moment they beamed Kirk back to the ship, but stayed
Yes.
on the mirror ship. That thing was so good. Like the
That I
lighting,
love that
but like
episode.
if you watch the original and then immediately you watch that one, the lighting and design of cinematography, they nailed the look of that show perfect.
The only difference when you put them side by side is the red on the transporter panel is just a little bit different than the original series set. Otherwise, like, yeah, they matched it, frame, pacing, lighting, everything. It was beautiful. That's one of my favorites that they did. So
hey, nice job. I knew you had one back there. I knew there was a personal.
I haven't done anything for the TNG Blu-ray. It's that giant clamshell and they just stack. Oh God, I hate those. I would love to do something with that. I just haven't got around it. They did Deep Space Nine with that as well.
See, so I have all these originals.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you got them as they were coming out.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, season 6 did not come with a slipcover. It's so weird, and it stresses me out. But yeah, I love these. These look beautiful together.
Like, yeah, that looks great.
Look. So putting these in one of those little mic boxes, oh yeah.
Well, so I was telling you like the struggles with making just the outer box for stuff like that. You provided a perfect example of that. You're like, I have all these in slipcovers except one, and believe it or not, folks, that makes a difference in how well it fits. And you start introducing one that has a steel book, so it creates a problem. Now Seinfeld, we got that terrible packaging, so I figured Seinfeld was popular enough that I could try to do a box set for that. So that's coming. It really just depends on how well that sells. If that sells well, I'll go and do Cheers. I'll do Frasier. I'll do Friends. I'll do all of those. And I'll take it. Look, the thing is, like, if you guys want it, if you guys are buying it, I'm going to make it. So it really boils down to that. So when people are like, are you going to make this? Or are you going to make that? It really, if something didn't sell well, I'm a little gun shy about pulling the trigger on something like it. So really, it really depends on the turnout for Seinfeld, whether I continue to make those kinds of boxes. But I will say that, like, I showed you that blank box set, or blank slip box. I'm making box sets that are blank. So you'll have the individual slip boxes and the outer box all be blank. So, and I'll provide templates so you can go crazy for those things that, like, I'm not making, or maybe you're just impatient and I can't get it to you fast enough. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, for me, I'm all about, like, trying to inspire. I'm trying to inspire you to get creative and do your own thing and find your own style. That's really why I made the blank boxes, is because I want, so many people are like, will you do a video on showing how you make your box? I'm like, screw it. I'm not gonna have you go through all of that hell that is in making a box and the learning curve involved. I'll just give you the box. I'm gonna, you could get the template. It's a buy once, cry once thing. It's super cheap.
Yeah.
And that template's yours to do with, with whatever you want, and you can use it over and over and over and over again, and you can crank them out. There's some guy on Instagram. He bought a ton of my blank slip boxes, and he's like posting daily new stuff that he's making every day. It's really cool. So I encourage anybody. They're coming back. They're sold out right now, but they're coming back soon. Probably like late April, early May. So that'll be, if you want to dabble in it, I suggest watch my video on how to apply the artwork first. And then I did another video on sizing your artwork in, like, Microsoft Paint. So it's like total, I used the most basic free program I could find, because I really wanted to take away the fear and the, like, what would look like a monumental task. Because I want people to have, these things. I want people to have their collection shine. I want them to be in love with it, and I want them to be able to express themselves artistically with it. So that's why I do those.
Well, I think you're definitely an inspiration for that. And I'm a sucker for that. Look, here, I'll show you. So as inspiration would have it, like, I didn't get sometimes you get the FOMO, right? Because Vinegar Syndrome did a did a
FOMO's real, bro.
it is. So smooth. Yeah. But I missed out on the Married to the Mob box from Vinegar Syndrome because I didn't even know they made that. Like it's Vinegar Syndrome. I'm used to like B horror, slightly pornographic stuff. Like none of that stuff they carry is anything I like. So when something like Roadhouse came along, I'm like, oh, I love Roadhouse. Like I don't like anything else they sell, but I like it. So Married to the Mob came out. So I made like total inspiration. All I got was this because it didn't come with anything. So I made a template and I created a slipcover. So, it's just on nice shiny paper and, so there you go.
You did a really great job on that.
Thanks. I mean, it puts a smile on.
How fast can you make 100 for me?
Well, I'll send you the template. Oh, well, cry once by.
That's the one thing I don't do is slip covers. I feel like there's so many amazing people out there that already do them. There's nothing new that I could bring to it. So I just kind of leave it like VHS slip covers. They do amazing work. Like I'm gonna let them do it. That's their thing. That's their jam. I'm not coming into that market. So
you're the box guy. You know the slip cover.
That's right. That's right. Everybody does it. Everybody does the knock test. Everybody. It's funny. But you got to show. You got to show that it's a hard box. I
don't know why. Like, knock, knock, knock. It's like, we get it. You said it's a hard box.
You're compelled. You have to do it.
You really do. Yeah. So let's say, what is this one? It says, do you do cases? Okay. We did the TV show thing.
Yep.
Oh, so he also wanted to know, and yes, we do know that's coming. So would you ever do a Star Wars box?
I am doing Star Wars. So right now I have, what I'm going to be doing is trilogy box sets. Because again, like I recognize like from Halloween and some of the other franchises that it's a very fractured fan base, and Star Wars in particular.
Put this up. Look at that.
Yeah. So I'm doing the original trilogy first. So those are the front and spines. And I have Chelsea Lowe, who she's already done Star Wars. She did the Skeleton Crew for Disney. So I'm having her do all of the artwork for all of my Star Wars boxes. So we nailed down all of the sketches for each back panel for each individual title. And then she's also, we've also nailed down the outer box artwork. It looks fantastic. I can't wait to show people, but it's not done. It's not done. I don't like to show undone sections of it, but I posted this because I knew that I was going to face some backlash with the spines. And then obviously there's people that, Star Wars A New Hope isn't called A New Hope. It's just called Star Wars. People, especially with Star Wars, they are so passionate about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. But I always say, like, I'm not going to make everybody happy, but I'm going to try my best. So like, if you notice, like, I didn't put Star Wars A New Hope on the front. I just kept it Star Wars.
Yeah.
But for uniformity's sake, I had to put A New Hope on there. And then the colors that I chose for the font for each one of those is my homage to the One Last Time artwork, which was the last time we got the original unaltered version of Star Wars.
Oh, very nice.
Officially. Now, that being said, like, there's obviously Harmy with his despecialized edition. Then there's Project 4K 77, 80, and 83. I actually have those. I actually burned those to 4K because they have those in all of them now. But and that's a free download. I need to do a video showing people how to do that, because every video that I've seen, everybody's like really cryptic with how to do it. And I'm like,
yeah, it's so weird.
So I feel like I want everybody to have, if you want it, I want you to have the original unaltered version of the Star Wars trilogy. I do. So, and that's the version I watch. I don't watch the special edition versions.
I think these are beautiful. I just wanted to say, I love the covers because it's the exact posters I would pick. Fonts are very simple. It's not cluttered with anything other than the font logo. And I think your spines are on point. I love that you're kind of, and I'm going to sort of see if I get this right. the font you're using feels very much like the Kenner Star Wars font, because it's got
It's
sort of that, that grating silver to it, which is
um
nice. I mean that with
so
respect.
so the part that says on the spines that says Star Wars, I originally used a font generator for that. And for anybody that doesn't know, there are different variations of the Star Wars font. So I originally made something with the font generator, and somebody kind of pointed it out. And this is another reason why I'll like post like this, because you guys are like a million more eyeballs on it. So if I screwed something up, you're gonna let me know, and this is the time to catch it, because once it goes to print, I'm screwed.
Yep, that's it.
So somebody caught it and they were like, yeah, it's a little bit off. So what I ended up doing is that exact font is what I grabbed off of the 4K Blu-ray spines. It's the same logo.
Right.
And then for like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, that was a font generator that I used. That's a variation of the Star Wars font. So it's still Star Wars font, but it's not like, I don't know, the main one. But I wanted it to be a little bit different. And also I wanted to use the colors. So for like 1, 2, and 3 episodes, 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, 9, they're going to have that same font. So you'll have your uniformity, and then they'll also vary in color as well. So it adds a little bit more color, like, because obviously I have the Rebel logo and the Imperial logo, that's in black and white. And with the Star Wars logo being gray, I needed more color. I just didn't want it to be a black and white image on the spine. That would just be boring.
Oh yeah, no, and I see that on the Star Wars, and I know these are just temporary. There's a little gradient on the left side. There's a gray on those Imperial, and see how, but the other ones are just pure white. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that intentional, or
yes, yes,
okay,
yes, that's intentional.
Oh, so why does Star Wars have a half gray on its
logo? I wanted it. Well, I mean, you have the Imperial logo and the Rebel, so and one of the things I've come from watching like Andor and Rogue One is even the good guys do their very shades of gray. So I kind of wanted to have a little bit of that, of like, it's just not a flat image. It's got I don't, it's hard to articulate, but yeah.
Texture, baby. It's texture.
Dude, there's so much that goes into these. People just don't understand. I spend hours in front of the computer pondering and playing with stuff to make it like, chef kiss perfect as I can.
Baby. Now, Stacey here wants to know if you just have a favorite rags to riches comedy. I think mine's probably Trading Places. I do love
Brewster's Millions. I love Brewster's Millions.
So good.
I don't know. Especially every political season, I'm always like, vote none of the above. That's my thing. Yeah, Brewster's Millions. I love that one. I'm not the biggest Richard Pryor. Not everything he made was great, but man, he was so good in that. So that's my favorite rags to riches kind of one.
That's a good pick. Now we have here, it says Lethal Weapon's about to come out on 4K. Are you going to do a slip box for that Lethal Weapon when it comes out?
I am. It's on my list. It's not. I won't have it ready for April. I can tell you that right now. So that's the downside of what I do, is I'm very reactive, because obviously the studios aren't emailing me their list of titles and when they're going to drop them and show me how bad their artwork is. So I have to kind of wait until they announce it. And unfortunately, a lot of studios, they do this. They're like a month or less that they announce.
Yeah, you're like, hey, why did you call me?
Yeah, I can't make stuff and get it in and have it made in a quantity that I can then turn around and start making it available to the masses. I'm not that fast. I can't do it that fast. So I am working on that. It just won't be ready for April. Probably most likely for a title like that. See, we're in March right now. We're in March, right?
Yeah.
I have so many projects going on.
About
Like I'm
6
getting
more
lost.
days.
So we're like at the end of March, April, May, probably the earliest if I was able to get the artwork done, would be like June. So I'm going to say probably most likely a title like that I won't have ready till more like September, August, October, that time frame. So
That's fine. Look, it gives people more time to acquire Lethal Weapon. See, here, this is why I think it's a good thing that it's not coming out right away. Some people like me, they don't go day one. They like to wait for a sale. So
yep.
that way, when you do drop it, more people will have in their hands Lethal Weapon. Because you're probably not going to buy your box set if you don't own the movie yet. It would be because, like,
you say that, but
yeah.
I can't tell how many people message me and they're like, I don't have the movie, but your box was so good, I had to get it, and now I have the movie.
Nice.
So,
that's good.
That to me is the greatest compliment that I could receive, is that I did such a good job and they loved it so much that they didn't even own that movie, but they're like, I have to have your box, and now I'm going to go get the movies so I can put them in your box. That to me is
nice.
So, as my mother would say, that warms the cockles of my heart.
There it is. Well, it says that is sick. That Batman. Do you think you'll do the Dark Knight trilogy?
I get this asked
all the time.
All the time. For anyone that it may seem that I answer, maybe I came off short to you. It's not my intention. I get this asked all the time. I have every intention in the world of doing a Dark Knight trilogy box. Especially like nobody was asking for it until I did my Batman 4 film.
Right.
The problem is that every time I get an inkling to do the Dark Knight trilogy, some studio puts out another edition of it.
Right.
And there are certain franchises, like I'll use like Harry Potter, for example. I did after my success from my first Halloween box like 5 years ago, I was like, okay, my next big one, it's going to be Harry Potter. That's going to sell like hotcakes. Everybody loves Harry Potter. This is a huge thing.
Yeah. Crickets,
man.
What?
And it sucked because back then I used to create options for you for your side artwork. You could choose. You could be like, I want number 3 and number 11. And that way, like, you had something unique. It wasn't just, this is it. This is all I'm making. You like it or you don't. So I did like 80 different side art panel choices for Harry Potter. Took me weeks. It bombed horribly. But that's a franchise. And what I'm using that for is that that's a franchise that's super saturated in like editions. There's the Steelbook edition, which I own. There's the Dark Arts version. There's the standard. There's the train. Same thing with Lord of the Rings. There's the Steelbooks. There's the wooden one. There's this version. Now they got the new Middle Earth collection. Dark Knight's the same thing, and like they just keep. It's so popular, obviously. They just keep rolling it out. So I'm like, I don't really want to compete with that. So I'm kind of waiting for a lull where I can slide in without having to compete with Zavi or somebody, like.
Yeah, but I think with something like that, though, people I think that want the Dark Knight show, they already own it. They already own it in whatever capacity they have it. And so if they're going to get that new stuff, they're going to get that new stuff. But if, like me, I just have sort of the combo thing. So I would greatly benefit. And I'm sure many people have that as well. It was a very affordable way to get it during like Black Friday at Best Buy, So to expand that into one of your boxes, I think that's the audience that's going to jump on that box. And regardless of what might be coming in the future, because I don't need another set. I won't buy another 4K. I won't buy Steelbook set. I have my set.
You say that, but how many copies of Star Wars do you own?
Star Wars is different. Star Wars is different. That's what I grew up with. Star Trek is also different. I will buy different versions. But for me, when it comes to the Dark Knight, yes, people probably act towards Dark Knight like we act towards Star Wars and Star Trek. I do.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it's just one of those, like, all my artists are tied up with other stuff. So I couldn't start a project on that even if I wanted to right now. And I have so many titles that are already like in various stages of development. Like, so honestly, like I'm gonna tell you right now, like Dark Knight is not happening this year.
Yeah. Peace out.
Yeah, it is not. I've got there's so many, like I had to write them down the one day I was doing my live stream. I'm like, okay, so we're doing blah 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 blah, and I just went to like down the list. Some of the, like I said, I've got 6 box sets that are going to be coming out soon for sale. I'm working on the Die Hard box set because I've heard rumor that they may be bringing them out. There's only one YouTuber that he did a video on. I don't know if he's full of it or not, but it doesn't really matter because they're on Blu-ray. In my cases, don't have a 4K or Blu-ray logo on it, so you can put really whatever you want in there. The only thing my cases won't hold are DVD cases. They're just not tall enough.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
just one of those
call.
Like
that's a good call, keeping the logos off. I like
yeah that. So well, I wanted you to be able to unite your collection and not let something great that you really love pass you by because you're like, well, I don't have the 4K of that. I only have the Blu-ray of that. Like, I'll use Halloween, for example. The Rob Zombie films are not on 4K. I don't know if we're ever going to get them on 4K, but it doesn't matter because you could just put your Blu-ray cases in there and it looks all the same. So,
Now we have your buddy is our friend Jeff here. He says, "Can I start making deposits now when you restock the Halloween box set?"
I get asked. This always happens after it sells out. People are like, when is it coming back? And B, can I like pre-order or can I pay you now and reserve a copy? I typically don't do pre-orders. I've had, I've had like, I don't want to say bad experiences with it, but I actually don't like doing it because for you guys, because like when the first run of the Halloween box set came out, I did a pre-order for it and it sold out really fast.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't do a pre-order for it, but I did more of a like back order. So it sold out really fast. I was like, okay, I'll do a back order. And I thought I was going to have them ready to go like the beginning of January. But that turned out to not be the case. And it got delayed. And I really didn't end up getting it out to people until like early February. And obviously I keep everybody up to date. But, a lot of people don't read, the fine print of this is a back order. And this is when I project it to be able to come out. So about like a week and a half to 2 weeks in, people are like, hey, where's my stuff? Or, hey, when can I expect this? And you just multiply that times like 100. Now you're getting 100 of those. It's very time consuming, to reach out and individually, like tell everybody and keep everybody in the loop.
I can imagine.
So I tend not to do that. That being said, I'm thinking about doing a pre-order for the Nightmare on Elm Street box set. Cause I really feel like that's going to be big and I don't want people left out in the dark. Like I always, we were talking about FOMO. FOMO is real. I try to minimize FOMO as much as possible. Like this last time I had about 40 Halloween boxes that I put up for sale. And I told people, I'm like, look, if you don't get this, if you miss it, don't sweat it. If it sells out, I'm going to do it again. So of course, not everybody hears that message. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. I don't reach everybody and my message doesn't reach everybody. So people find me every day. And that's the first, whatever it is that they saw that drew them to me. That's the question they lead with is this coming back? When is it coming back? Are you making more? Are you doing this? So like I get those every day and I try my best to give you as a complete answer as I can. Obviously I welcome to the community. But I typically don't do the back orders because I don't want you to be feeling, especially like if you're new, you're like, did I just get swindled by some guy?
Yeah.
Is this really going to come or was this fraud? So like,
is Blockbuster box sets legit? Enter.
Yeah, exactly. So I see it every day on some of the Facebook groups, like there's like a Steelbook group and every day it seems like every day there's somebody that makes a post of like, don't buy from so and so, they're a scammer, you know. So I get why people are very hesitant. All I can tell you is like,
part of that.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that. So I always keep everybody up to date as much as I can. I post multiple times some days on stuff. So yeah, typically I don't do like pre-orders and back orders. The other thing is that this logistic problem, right? So if I put something up for pre-order on my website, you're most likely going to order something with that, right?
Yeah.
So now you've created 2 shipping events because I don't think most people aren't going to want to wait until, it could be months before that title that they bought shows up. And it's just me. I don't have an army of people behind me, like fulfilling orders. So I don't want to lose track of people. And that was one of the things I struggled with the back orders for the Halloween was, I think I had like 50 people that back ordered, and that was months that went by. So I was literally like taking snapshots on my phone of everybody that bought one with their shipping address, because, at the time I was just on Etsy. So Etsy wasn't holding that. It wasn't setting that aside. It wasn't filtering that for me.
Yeah.
So I had to do that myself. So that's the main problem with that. With pre-orders is I can say it till I'm blue in the face of like, just order that. Don't order anything else. If you want something else, do another order. But people aren't going to get that message, and then it's a nightmare logistically.
But I don't want to miss it, man.
That's right. But you're almost out of your trick or treat slips. So
put in the cart. Huck showed it up, and it's sold out. I tell you, let's. We got a bunch of people are loving this, so we're just gonna hit some questions from the people right now.
Yeah.
And we'll try to do it short and sweet to plow through a few
rapid fire.
Yeah. And so Ryan says, are there any box sets that inspired you? Like the Stranger Things has the VHS case, and you look at that. Is there anything out there that inspires you, or do you try to just kind of go off your own inspiration by the brand you're gonna make? The franchise.
Everything's a case by case or title by title. The artwork depends upon kind of the artwork that we've seen. Because like I said, like I want to give you something new, but I can't wander too far off. Because then you're going to be like, what is this? It's not identifiable enough. I will say that as far as like a title or a box set that I was like directly inspired by. So for any of you that have the Rambo Lionsgate Steelbook box set, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that Steelbook.
Perfect.
That Steelbook, that to me is the gold standard for Steelbook box sets. So when it came time for Rocky, I wanted that to be a companion piece to that Steelbook box set. So if you look, the layout of my Rocky box is a mirror of the Steelbook box set for Rambo. That was on purpose. I specifically did that on purpose. So, because like I said, most likely if you're buying Rocky, you got Rambo. I don't know too many people that are like, oh, I'm not doing Rambo.
But I hate that other guy.
Yeah. I have maybe what you call a relaxed brain, but I punch you.
Relaxed brain, That's funny. Now, look, I want to say you've already inspired. He says, well, I'll back it up a couple more. Anyways, he's already loaded his cart on your site. He says, I have the Indiana Box, the Mandalorian, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. So he's already loading the cart as we speak. Way to go, Dave. The one thing I would say that's, and it could just be a site thing, and I lost out because I didn't just pull the trigger overnight. I loaded my cart, but then sometimes I just kind of go to sleep and see if I'm going to add to it the next day. And the cart is empty. Like it's not, they don't retain, like even when I log back in, I'm like, why are they gone? So then I got to put them back in again. And then I missed out.
I don't know that. I can't buy from myself.
Yeah.
And I will say that I don't have any control over that over the website. So the company that I use, it's not Shopify. This episode is brought to you by Shopify. It's not that.
Right.
So the company that I formed the LLC with, they had like that option of you could make your own website, and so they have like templates, and so there's only so much I could do.
Of course.
But that feature right there, that's the first I've heard of that. The other thing I've heard, and again, I don't know why this is happening, but it typically happens when I release something new and there's like a rush at the door, like a Black Friday sale. People will say I ordered, but I didn't get like a confirmation email, and it doesn't say anything in my order history. Did my order go through? My answer to all of you is this: if it took your money, I got your order. So you don't have to worry about that. And eventually it does show up, but I think that's more of a PayPal thing. That's the other thing too, is like PayPal is just the platform. You do not need to have a PayPal account to purchase off of my website. PayPal is just the facilitator. So if you just want to use your credit card, you just put in your credit card information. And I don't see any of that. I don't deal with any of that. All I see is an order came and I fulfill it. That's it. So I don't have access to any of that information.
Gotcha. Well, now look, since Dave is eager to order that Loki box, he says, can you show that Loki now that he's going to buy it?
Sure.
In the cart.
So I have the two slips. All right. So quick backstory on this as I show it off.
Yep. It's pretty sweet.
This was originally, this is Chelsea Lowe's artwork as well, but
beautiful.
This was a blank box set that was like this I had made, and nobody was buying them. So I had about 50 of these, of the 2 case size ones that I made. So I wanted them gone, so I decided to make something. So I made this, and then I made the Beetlejuice one that's right back there. So I only had like 25 of these and like 25 of those. And it was funny, especially when it came to Loki, when I put this out on Facebook for feelers of like, hey, is anybody interested? This, I wasn't getting a lot of engagement on it. So I really didn't think this was going to sell. Somebody asked me on my live stream a couple weeks ago, and they were like, basically to the effect of like, do you know which ones are going to be good and which ones are not? The answer is I suck at picking winners. Everything that I've ever thought was going to be gold did not sell, and everything that I'm like, man, maybe I'll sell these out. So like, yeah, Loki was one of them, because a lot of people, especially in the physical media community, they're anti-streaming. There's a division that's like anti-streaming. So not a lot of everybody was like, yeah, I watched Loki and I loved it, kind of thing. So this sold out really fast. I have decided, and this is the first place I'm announcing it, so it's a Hook exclusive.
Right.
I am bringing this back. I will make more. There's enough demand for it. It's going to be it'll be more toward the late summer or fall before I get it back in. What I will do, because I try to minimize it as much as I can. I hate people having to double dip. I will offer a certain amount of just the outer box, and then the rest are going to be the box set with the slipcases. So if you have not bought the slipcases yet and you want the box set, just wait. If you've already bought the slips because the box set was sold out, those outer boxes, when they get restocked, will be for you. Yeah.
To all you Loki fans out there.
I like that. Yeah. So Beetlejuice is coming back now. Beetlejuice, I am just bringing it back as a box set.
Okay, so, that's cool, because I didn't get it, so I'm down with that one.
Yeah, and I changed the back panel artwork on both of them. So
look, mid-levels here. It says Hookman and Blockman. What is going on?
What's going on, Ken?
And he wants you to pull your Chucky back out of the closet.
That's right. Dude, Oh my God. So I sent that to Ken.
Uh,
I don't know, it was like 2 years ago, maybe. He was doing subscriber mail, which I always liked watching that. And it wasn't a pitch or anything. I wasn't trying to sell him or like get my name plastered or anything. It was genuinely, I remember him talking about that he really liked the Chucky films and that he was disappointed that Scream Factory didn't make a box set. So I had made it, so I sent it to him. And then it like disappeared. And then I saw it like months and months, maybe a year later on a video. He was talking about all his storage, and then he went into his closet and I just happened to catch it in the background of that. And then, you gotta, everybody's different. Everybody organizes their stuff differently. It made me laugh, and I was like, man, I didn't make the shelf.
He didn't make the shelf.
I'm in the back closet,
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Hucky Conan. All right. Let's see. Question from Mike from Prince Doobie Doobie Doo. What is your feel good serotonin boost movie?
There are one's a trilogy, like any one of those films in the trilogy, and then the one is a standalone by itself. Anytime I'm feeling like not my usual chipper upbeat self, I love the Brendan Fraser Bedazzled.
Oh no! Wow.
That
you're gonna
just,
say The Mummy.
no, if Brian from Last Movie Stands here, it's The Mummy 3.
Yeah.
We have a little thing going on with that, but so I love Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser, and then the Austin Powers trilogy. I absolutely love those. Those make me laugh out loud.
Those are great
every time. They are so good. And then I guess the last one would be The Wedding Singer. That's just a really good, fun, like comedy, heartwarming movie. I really love those.
So since you love those, I would surmise you have made boxes for those.
Yeah. I have not made a box for any of those yet. So
those are all pretty popular.
The Bedazzled has been out of print. It's on Blu-ray, but it was like first gen, like 25.
Yeah, that's a bad one to do a box for because nobody has.
Yeah, that's out of print. I actually I have it on Blu-ray, but it's not the official.
Hey, look, you gotta acquire.
I paid for the rental, okay? So yeah, I did. Right. They did get my money.
Yeah, there you
go. But I've not done Austin Powers yet. I think they did the first one. I don't know who brought that out. Was that Arrow or somebody brought out the first one, and the artwork on it wasn't good. But I'm waiting basically there for titles like that. I'm waiting for like a 4K to come out of them, because some titles they need that excitement, that interest. Because I mean, and I'm guilty of myself of like, I've seen every movie that I own, but it may have been a couple years since I saw it.
I got you. So you want something to bring, like James Bond. People are excited about Bond right now, so it's in 100%.
100%.
Yeah. Because I was going to say you don't need to wait because, like you said, your boxes don't differentiate between Blu-ray or 4K. So you could do an Austin set. And to your point, Beetlejuice just came out, so there's a frenzy for it. Bam, you jumped on it.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
let's see. Are you interested in doing a Game of Thrones box?
I'm not doing Game of Thrones. Yeah. Game of Thrones is one of those. It's just like Harry Potter. They have the Steelbook box set. They have a really nice box set that's got the individuals, and then they've got, like, I bought them on Blu-ray as they were coming out. So those each season varied in thickness, and for the way they packaged them. Not touching Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And I am just sort of skipping around a little bit, y'all, because I don't want to keep Mike all night here. But I'm also doing it to encourage you to go subscribe to Mike, go like him, go to Facebook and communicate with him over there and share more wants and desires. I think that's a good way to get you over to his other places. And
I got a live stream. I got a live stream tomorrow. So
yeah. So tell us about that. What's going to be on your stream tomorrow night?
Well, I always try. Well, it's a lot like this where, first off, I love the live streams, and I love this because I want to talk to you all.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Like I'm not really great at making like the videos where it's just me talking to the camera, and then I don't get to, I love the interaction. I mean, we all love movies. We're a lot of us for YouTube, we got into it into YouTube because we want to talk about it. You know, like I was telling you earlier, there's only so much my wife can take of me talking about movies.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so I typically will show off like new stuff that I've been working on, or announce titles that are coming out. I've got like I've got a couple new products that are coming that I'm excited about, that are like extend beyond boxes. So I'm doing like canvas print posters of the original newly commissioned artwork that I've been doing. Stuff like that. I want to get into t-shirts so you can wear that artwork now. I've got some accessory stuff that's coming for like to display your slipcases. So like somebody just, and this is one of you guys, this is what's fantastic is somebody made I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but somebody made 3D printed these, and they hold, you could put my slip box and it, so I got like these
nice.
right here. They're just holding them perfectly. It's fancy. I mean, they can stand on their own, but these like really like give you a good base. These are fantastic. He made these, so I'm gonna try these out and see if people want them. And you know, so like that was the beauty of the communities coming together. Like I was telling you earlier, I want to inspire people to get creative. They have. He made that and sent it to me, and now you know I'm gonna try to like bring that to the community as well.
Those are nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And just real quick, you talked about your print. So I did grab some of these. These are some of the things you offer as posters or print things to hang on your wall.
Yeah. So those are the first 10. I'm just rolling. This is brand new. So these are the first 10 designs, and they're all 16-inch by 20-inch posters that are printed on canvas, and they're already wrapped framed. So you literally just take it out of the box and hang it on the wall. And
those are great. I'm just looking.
Yeah. So
hopping with color and style.
Yeah. So the Snake Plissken one where he's holding the gun and he's wearing the tank top, and the Ghostbusters one, those are the only two that are not my artwork. They are Chelsea's that I'm licensing from her to do those. But the rest of those are artwork that I own, that I had created. So, yeah, I just want to make sure like everybody knows, like I'm not ripping people off. I'm not ripping artists off. Like I'm paying them for their work and stuff.
That's nice.
So
that's really great, man. So one last thing, I'll do a couple of things here.
Sure.
So the people get a nice taste of your website. We have that here as well, so we can just kind of look at it together. Here it is. This is where all the magic happens, y'all. So
if you catch a spelling error, let me know.
Yeah, exactly, right? Dude, I do that all the time, like on my thumbnails and stuff. I'm like, I literally, for my morning show, I instead of the word is, I put it. And right before I went on, I caught it and then I changed it. And I even had the wrong, it was an episode 138, but I forgot to change the 7 to an 8 because I just templated it over and over.
Yep.
So I quickly changed it all and then screwed it up again. My God. The thing, see, when you're your only person and you're the only one responsible for checking stuff, sometimes you're just going fast to get it out and then mistakes happen.
Yep.
But
if you're not doing it, it's not getting done.
I want to say that this is what I missed by sleeping on my cart is I had a Commando in there, and I think you're out now. So I'm so sad.
I'm not bringing that back anytime soon.
Yeah, I wanted that. I won't say what else I want to grab because I don't want it to sell out. But so yeah,
go back to the homepage really quick. Go back to the homepage and scroll. I want people to see the coming soon section.
All right.
So keep going. So there's the digital download you see, and then there it is.
Oh, there's April. Look at that, baby. Coming soon. Go crazy, people. Got your Ahsoka, Andor, Back to the Future box set. Beetlejuice is coming back. Constantine, Deadpool, Escape from the 2 movie set. Fright Night, that's nice. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Hawkeye, now you're talking. Jackie Brown, Moon Knight, Obi-Wan, WandaVision. That's just in April, May alone. But look at that, y'all. I mean, just go check it out. All these great things. Oh, see, unfortunately, there's some I can't jump on, like Legend, because I have that big box set. So it's too big to fit.
You know what's funny is I did a Tremors box, and I actually like the one I made better than what Arrow did. But
Yeah,
I bought the really nice one. I'm not chucking that. So
I'll probably need to get your Tremors because I missed out on the chunky box for that. So
that's actually one of the titles that I've had to pull because I couldn't track down who the artist was. And so now the next time you see that come back, that's going to have newly commissioned artwork by Mariano Mattis. I asked him to do it. So once he's done with the outer box artwork of Nightmare on Elm Street, then he's going to do that for me.
Oh man, that's awesome. So put you in touch with my friend Tim. He's got a channel here too. Tim Vince used to be Tim Talks Talkies. He's a print nut. Like he loves print, so he knows artists and things like that. So I wonder if just looking at something,
always looking.
Like, oh yeah, that's blah blah blah. Yeah. But yeah, May June, like I'm of these. I love the almost all of these are just banger boxes. The Abyss, it's like Faculty. This is good stuff. Time Cop, True Lies. Yeah. Oh, Roger Rabbit. So put me down. I'm going to pre-order right now. Yeah, and I saw that you got the Jaws coming back. I saw the little ad for that.
Yeah, that was demand. And that's the thing is like, if you guys want something to come back, you got to let me know. So I always encourage people. I'm like, feel free to reach out, blockbusterboxsets@gmail.com. And if you have a suggestion or if you just put in the title suggestion box, and that way I can read it, I can see it. And if I'm seeing the same title pop up, I know there's demand for it. And then I'll be able to bring it back.
Nice. Then you announce it maybe on one of your streams. And these are nice too. So this is the template Mike was talking about, right? So this is for your box, right?
Yep. And you get the front and the back template.
I was going to say, yeah, because I was like, it's missing the back. And then the adhesive, is this how you stick it to the box? Is using these white adhesive sheets?
Yeah. So I cut those down for you, and you just peel, stick it. Folks, please, for the love of God, do not use like sticker paper. Don't use sticker paper. Paper quality really matters. I print on, and I tell you in the video, print on like HP premium or HP gloss. It doesn't have to be HP, but like, premium paper, like glossy paper. Don't print on sticker paper. I don't care how many times they try to tell you it's premium and it's this sticker paper sucks. Yeah. It's not going to give you the quality that you want. Just get the good paper.
so let me ask you about the printing then. So obviously, because these are oversized, you can't print these on an 8.5 by 11 machine. So you would take these to like Kinko's or something, or wow, Kinko's,
man. Whoa, you just dated yourself on that.
Sorry about that. Woo! And that was a weird slip. Staples, people. Staples, Office Depot. Do they have a problem printing these? Do they have any sort of legal issue? Or is it just sort of whoever's waiting on you? Because I know sometimes I've brought like my stuff in, like the slip cover, and I have to say, look, I'm only printing one. It's for me, so that they know I'm not doing a mass thing, and then they're okay. But sometimes they look at me. They look at me funny, like, how many you need?
Okay, so the way I have it set up for you guys to make your own is it's instead of like one of my the stuff that I make is one piece of paper. So it's one piece completely wrapped around.
Right.
For the stuff that I have for you guys to make it super easy and so you can be consistent, I break it into two pieces of paper. So each is printed on an 8.5 by 11. So it's standard size. So you can print this at home if you have a decent printer. Now, if you have to go to a print shop, I will tell you that at least here in America, if you have to talk to somebody for them to do it, they're most likely not going to. However, since it's an 8.5 by 11 and I already gave you the template, so you're all sized, ready to go, and you just go print it. You don't have to go talk to anybody. They have like self-service machines.
Okay, good.
And you can pick your own paper, or you can even, a lot of places you can bring the paper that you want. So if you don't want to pay their price, or you have a specific kind, then you just bring your sheets and then you just go to the self-service and print it out.
So that's great. You just bring your nice ream of good printable paper quality.
Yeah. And it just depends on the shop. Like I know Not that I go to them, but I would think that people like shops like FedEx or something like that would probably not let you bring your own paper. But I know like at least my staples, you know, Office Depot, Office Max place does. So
yeah, I'm just showing off some of these great covers here.
I mean, hell, you can go to the library if you have a decent library. They probably got a color printer. You could go there. So
these are cool, y'all. So just check these out. These are, you know, I already see a couple that I had in my cart that are sold out. But I see you got a lot of the Halloweens and stuff popped up.
So I did.
Were those leftovers from the boxes or something? The box sets?
No. I recognize that a lot of people. Halloween's such a fractured fan base. So
ooh, Top Gun. That's nice. Dang.
Yeah, that was part of the scratch and dent. So I just added that section. So on that tab to the left, you see like scratch and dent, and that'll put you in everything that's scratch and dent. There every now and then, just poke your head in there because I drop stuff. I don't sell anything in there that's like smashed. I don't do anything like that.
Yeah.
So it just has minor imperfections, or maybe it was a misprint or something like that. So it's a great way to get something on the cheap. It's a great way if you want a practice box to work on. Because it'll be, you know, and then maybe you bought the slips and I just had a slightly imperfect outer box like that Top Gun one, perfect example of that, and so you're able to pick that up.
That's amazing, man. Well, this is great, man. It's been a fun night. Hope you had a good time, right?
Yeah, I've had a great time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of new people. I saw some new names for myself. Maybe they came over from your neck of the woods, so hello to anybody new. If you're obviously, I recognize a lot of you. So yes, definitely go check out Mike. This stuff is amazing. As you can tell, I was eager to get your word out and help share this with the masses. And
I appreciate you having me on. So
absolutely,
that's the biggest, that's the number one, as I've said on my streams, like that's the number one challenge is awareness that I exist and what I'm doing. You know, and I'm very new to YouTube. So I've only been on YouTube for like 2.5, 3 months. So yeah, thank you for having me on so I could reach more people to make them aware of what I'm doing.
100%. And how's your channel going?
It's good. I already have I'm closing in on 1,300 subscribers, which is amazing.
That is fast, dude. I'll be honest, like that is very quick. I mean, it probably took me in my first time at it, maybe 1,000 for the year, you know, but you have an extremely specific niche too. So,
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know how large the channel is going to grow on that. You know, obviously the more the merrier, but I think a big chunk of those people were people that I had been collecting over the last 5 years.
Right.
And I finally gave them a place to go. Yeah. So, you know, but everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Well, as we part, and again, guys, I tried to get to as many questions as I could. Thanks for everybody chipping in, throwing me and Mike some questions. Super cool. But again, go to some of his socials so you can talk more and get engaged. And as we leave, I'm just trying to see if there's one. Let's see. Okay, I know. Okay, there's two things. I know there's some you won't make because I learned that the hard way because I sent you a live chat room, which is Masters of the Universe. You're like, oh, hell no, not doing that movie. So I get that. Is there another? Are there a couple of other ones that people are constantly throwing your way that is off the table? So we'll start there, and then we'll button it up with one last question.
I don't like to say that like I'll never do something. There's no the Masters of the Universe thing. You heard my answer on that.
I did. I was like, oh,
that is such a rare exception. Yeah. The biggest thing I would say for right now is for any of you for any title that you have in your mind, I would say first thing is ask, is this like really obscure random thing? If that's the case, I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon. I'm just not big enough for that kind of thing. So I don't like to say that I'll never do this or this is totally off the table. But right now, my current size, I'm only able to like do the stuff that like really appeals to the masses. So more of the blockbusters, so to speak, and not so many of the random obscure titles. I like every now and then I try. I am expanding into like comedies and stuff. Like I want to do Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird
Oh,
Science,
sweet.
titles like that. But yeah, I think the number one box set that I'm being asked about right now, that the answer is currently no, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of people are asking me about that. That's not going to happen this year. It may happen next year. Now, I have done in the past, I did do like just the outer box, like that old school type box set. But not this year.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah. I got enough going on with, I'm doing Halloween again, and then I'm also bringing out Nightmare on Elm Street. So those are going to be like the two flagship boxes for like the Halloween season. So, you know, once I get those out of the way, and then Friday the 13th, I will say that I'm not touching Friday the 13th anytime soon. And so I don't know what they're doing, but it's a very hodgepodge of the 4Ks right now. And obviously there's the Blu-ray that Screen Factory did. That box set is beautiful.
It is.
It's got Devon Whitehead's work on it. It's fantastic. So I have no intention of touching that anytime soon. Not to say that I won't eventually get to it.
All right. Now, since those are off the table, and this will just be a personal request, because I know that also like cult classics, I mean, things like Legend and Blade Runner and things like that, those are going to do well. Now, this is a slightly off the path. They didn't, when they re-released this on 4K, they didn't do a box set on it. So I missed the old box. Would you do Elvira, Mistress of the Dark box? Because I know there's a huge fan base for Elvira.
Is that... I thought Screen Factory did one with the hard box. Or is that a different? Or was that a different one?
The Blu-ray had the hard box, and then the Haunted Hills had a hard box. But then when this came out, at least I certainly didn't see it because I jumped on this pretty quickly, and I never saw a hard box. So you know, for those who didn't get a hard box,
you know, I would say for those watching, if you want that, definitely hit me up.
There you go. It's out there, y'all.
If I can get enough, if you can will that into existence, I'll do it, man. So
there you go. That's all I care. All right. Well, y'all, what a blast. I know there's more questions here, but you know, we'll let Mike go tonight. You guys got a lot of great stuff. And again, we're talking about templates. He'll share templates with you. It's all good stuff. He's got a fantastic website. Please go check him out on Facebook, here on YouTube. Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. I'm getting better at posting.
Okay. Yeah. And we'll add the Instagram because I think that's the only one I didn't know if you were on there. So I didn't think I had a thing for that. And of course we got his website. All that's in the description below. So you can just go nuts, man. Go out there and add Mike to your life. It's a wonderful thing. And so Mike, as we leave one last time, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Maybe some secret passion project that you want for yourself that's coming. It's coming one day soon. Maybe not this year, maybe not next week, next month, but something that you want, you've always thought about. Well, let's put that into manifestation.
I can tell you for me, and it won't be this year, maybe next year. I don't have any specific, but I have never been satisfied with any of the Superman Christopher Reeve box sets. I've never been set. Even this last one, the Steelbook box that they put out, I thought was super lazy. Those films are so colorful and so upbeat, and there's so many good pieces that they could use. And I'm a huge Superman fan, like not just Christopher Reeve. Like I actually grew up watching mostly the reruns of the Adventures of Superman with George Reeves. I grew up with Superboy with Dean Cain as Lois and Clark. Obviously the Christopher Reeve films. So everybody, like I'm a huge Superman fan. So I would like to be able to do like I really want to make something that like really pops and does it justice, because everything that they've ever put out is like, okay, we're gonna put the Superman emblem on there and call it a day, you know?
Yeah.
Or we'll give you a really Photoshop, figure of him, and we'll put some Crystal Fortress of Solitude stuff, call it a day. It's just so lazy, and I have such a love for that franchise. I really, really want to do something special for it, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. Maybe next year if I can find time for it.
I love that. I'm with you. It was it's my favorite movie of all time. It's like, it's between Back to the Future, Rocky, and Superman. They all sort of trade places in my #1 slot. So I love that idea. I'm with you because oddly in that case, in the steel books, right? The last one, you open it up and there's not even like a bonus.
It's empty.
It's just got swag. It's got paper in this. I'm like,
and they combined the Donner and the theatrical cut of 2 into one steel. That was dumb.
Yeah, and then do you know how many great bonus features there are? Like, dude, you're probably like me. Remember when Superman came out? They had the making of Superman, and Chris Reeve was the host of it. Dude, I would watch that as much as the movie because I was so fascinated by that. Like, why isn't that in its own? So yeah,
I had on DVD, I had that metal tin one, and that had like 20 something discs in it. It was fantastic. The DVD transfers of the films were terrible. They fixed a lot of that in the Blu-ray and 4Ks. But that had like everything. I wish they would put something out like that again. I've thought many a times of like, what if I do it where the outer box is like a telephone booth and he's kind of like changing, you know? But I'm like, but he doesn't get the telephone booth except for 4. So I'm like, oh my God,
that's right. And the first one,
he looks down and he's like, oh no, yeah.
Well, they does get a photo booth in 4 as well, right? In that 4, he gets the photo booth.
3 in the beginning in the opening credits. He goes into the photo booth.
That's right. Because it pops out and he tears it off.
The kid that he hands the thing to, that kid was the infant Superman in the first one. So I'm with you.
Like, I'm just checking him out. Like, everybody knows that. Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, thanks a lot, man. I want everybody to have a great night tonight. We're just going to sign off and say, please go check out all of Mike's stuff. Mike, thanks again for tonight. I really appreciate it. It's a good time.
Thank you.
All right.